Here's our co-leader, Pam Barnett, trying for a birdie putt about 45 feet here. She had 5 3-putt greens yesterday. Why are the girls having so many problems here like Pam, do you think, Sharon?
Well, I talked to Pam a little earlier, and she said her problem was actually judging the speed of the greens. And I think, having played them, I think there's, whoops, it's not looking too bad right there.
And she'll have one of those.
Should be.
What do you girls call those?
Oh, well, they're just kind of knee knockers, too, particularly when you're in the position Pam is right now.
Yes, she is the co-leader right here. And now let's go to 18 and Chris Schenkel.
And we have the co-leader at the 72nd hole, Susie Maxwell Berning, with her caddy lining up about a 45-foot putt for a birdie 3, which could give her the lead on the final hole.
Chris, the big thing that she has to encounter here is she has to go over a slight roll or a slight hump in the green. And the speed is a very important thing, and a lot of the girls have left this ball considerably short today.
This is Betty Burfine at the 16th on the left, while Susie Berning is on the right. Burfine, if she makes this putt on the left, could tie for the lead. This lady could take the lead with this putt. She shares it right now with Pam Barnett, while Betty Burfine on the left went way beyond the hole. While it was a nice up putt for Susie Maxwell Berning, Byron.
Right, it was an excellent putt from that distance. Anytime you get a putt from that distance up where you don't have to work too hard on the next putt, why, you consider yourself doing quite well.
Let's go back out to 16.
Oh, yes, Susie is in on 18, and 17 and 18 are both very difficult holes, and Pam still has those ahead of her.
And meanwhile, Betty Burfine here has to sink this for her par to remain remain 1 stroke off the lead. Just broke off at the hole. She bogeys here, a very tough break. She birdied it the first day, parred it the next 2 days, and now she picks up a bogey, and that'll drop her 2 strokes off the lead with those 2 tough holes to play. As you can see with her way she's just looking, she's very downcast about getting that bogey. Now, here's Pam Barnett, our co-leader, with Susie Berning, has to sink this one to remain in a tie for the lead. As we mentioned, she's been having problems with her putting, but certainly not her driving. She's only missed 4 fairways in the first 54 holes. This is her 8th Open. First was as an amateur. On the left is Susie Berning. Both these girls, both for pars. Barnett gets hers, and let's see what Susie Berning does. And they both get him to remain in a lead. You saw our co-leaders there, Susie Berning and Pam Barnett, both 11 over par. But Susie has finished, and Pam has 2 difficult holes still to go, 17 and 18. In the final round of the Women's Open Golf Championship from Wingfoot Golf Club of Mamaroneck, New York, will continue in a moment.
This is the way it stands in the 20th United States Women's Open. Pam Barnett, her tee shot, being tied for the lead with Susie Maxwell Berning. Moments ago, here's the tee shot at the 17th hole, the par 3 here at Wingfoot, tied at 11 over, and it is on the green. Now, you'll recall her co-leader, who has finished 72 holes, birdied 17 and parred 18. Betty Burfine's tee shot at the par 3 17th, and with the wood on this 200-yard hole. Short of the green, Betty Burfine in the Open Championship.
Seems as though the Pam is away. Appears she's going to shoot first. This may be one of the most important shots she's ever hit. She needs to stay down and really hit through this ball to be sure that it gets up to the hole. Probably about a 4 or 5 iron from there.
She has one victory to her credit last year. It's low.
It might roll up quite good, though, Chris. No, the grass caught it. It's going to stop just short of the green, so she has a very difficult pitch to tie.
That's right. She would have to pitch it up and hole it here on the par 4 18th to tie. Meanwhile, Susie Maxwell Berning finished and watching.
Actually, Chris, I'm sure that she didn't hit that shot correctly because it was much too low for an iron shot from the lie she had. I'm sure that she caught the ball, what we say, a little bit thin.
Betty Burfind at 14 over, hitting her second shot now here on the par 4 18th hole.
Nice and high, but pulled slightly to the golfer's left, just hole high.
Yes, all this at Wingfoot. The Women's Open Golf Championship from Mamaroneck, New York and Westchester County will continue after this message. We're at the par 3 17th. Betty Burfind has chipped up, and she'll be have her third stroke here on the 17th hole, while the co-leader, Pam Barnett, failed to make the green. She's in the, well, a little long, but she'll know how to handle this because these ladies are great chippers, aren't they?
Yes, they are, Chris, but she has a little difficult position because you can see from this angle she has to pitch up over a little mound on this little small green, so she must hit this ball very crisply because she has to pitch up over the mound, and then it must have some spin on it. But the pin is cut clear in the back part of the green, so she has quite a little ways to go, but see, she pitched up over that mound, and as stopped up rather well, but she has a very difficult putt left because she's not happy with it. It's the time that we surely don't like to have to make at this stage of the game because they're hard enough to make any time, but when you get down to the point where you're coming in, and she knows now that Susie's in, and she already knows what she's finished with, that she must finish par to tie, and this, when you're sitting with a putt like this, you have to remember to breathe. First thing you know, you're holding your breath, and this is an important thing out there for these champions, is learn how to breathe, to keep on breathing, because if you start holding your breath, then you become more nervous, your heart picks up beats, and then that makes you more nervous.
I have that trouble all the time.
Now then, Betty has this little putt here. I say little, it's certainly, I'd hate to have to make it, but at this point, but she's putting for her par 3. She's a little short of the green, and she's bad. This 17th has been very difficult. It appears as though it might go slightly to her left, but it's pretty straight.
That's
par
Betty
3.
Burfine at 17.
Yeah, it did. Went down a little to the left.
So that will put her 14 over. With her back to us in the lemon shirt, that is Pam Barnett, the co-leader. But she has a tough putt to remain co-leader.
Yeah, she's held on remarkably well, Chris, after bogeying 8, 9, and 10.
Right.
Then she settled down and has played very well from there here. And so we'll just have to wait and see what she does with this. She's been putting well.
She started out 8 over today. And she got it down to 6 once. On the left here at 18, that is Judy Terlumke Rankin. This is for a birdie 3 after a nifty second shot with an iron. This could tie her for second with Kathy Ahern. On the right, Pam Barnett for a par at 17. Oh, lovely. Beautiful birdie 3 for Judy Rankin. She is tied for second at 12 over to remain tied for the lead. On the right, Pam Barnett. Oh, Susie Maxwell Berning is the leader. So, this young lady, who is noted for her wigs on the tour, now has, that's not just a gimme either.
No, it sure isn't. That's just what I was thinking, Chris. Especially when you have lost one like this, and now you're a little upset. You know you've lost the lead, so you must be careful about your thoughts. Now then, you must try to think about just this putt, because now you must make this putt and then a birdie to tie.
Right. There's a bogey 4 at the 17th hole as Pamela Barnett loses a portion of the lead, and now with the hole to play, trails by 1 shot. And the hole that this young lady has to play is a fine finishing hole, 360 yards long for these ladies. And it requires a long tee shot in order to get that second on the green and close. So her work is really cut out. She's got to birdie the hole to tie. And in the event there is a tie, following regulation play, will be on the air tomorrow afternoon, Monday, 4:30 Eastern Daylight Time.
Chris, I tell you, having been in golf a long time, it's a most difficult thing to birdie the last hole after having lost a lead and then bogeyed the last hole. But she has a lot of courage, and she's a good player, so we'll just have to wait and see what she does, because they have been reaching this green now. There's no wind. It's nice and calm and not too hot, the overcast skies, so she should reach this green with a drive and an iron if she can hit a good drive, as she normally does. A little slight girl, but hits the ball very long, very solidly for her stature.
At the moment, a three-way tie for second. Sort of a nice arc. Sharon Moran, you're out there on the course at 16. You might have an observation about Pam Barnett.
You notice that last shot that Pam hit. She is a small girl, as you said, but she really moves her legs well. And I think this is where she gets a lot of her power. And obviously this week she's been playing her wood shots very well.
How did you like Betty Burfine's tee shot, Sharon?
The one she
The
just
swing, anyway.
hit. Yeah, the swing, right. I couldn't see where it landed.
All right,
Betty,
there it is at the 18th hole. We have Betty Burfine, the final twosome in this 20th Ladies Open for the National Championship, with Susie Maxwell Berning in the clubhouse at 11 over par. 6,226 yards. The actual measurement has been playing longer, and it plays to par 72. From Mamaroneck, New York, this is the Women's Open Golf Championship. We'll return to the action after this message.